Some Somali pirates made a huge mistake by attacking what they thought was a slow cargo ship. Instead, they targeted the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, one of the most powerful aircraft carriers in the world. This is the story of what happened when desperate pirates met an unbeatable force. On March 19th, 2025, in the calm Arabian Sea, three speedboats roared through the darkness. On board were pirates armed with rifles and rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs. They believed they had found a treasure, a large merchant ship full of valuable goods, moving slowly and without protection. They closed in fast, ready to take over the vessel and claim their riches. But they were terribly wrong. This was not a cargo ship. It was the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, known to its crew as Ike, a massive aircraft carrier and a symbol of American military power. The pirates were about to learn a very hard lesson. The Arabian Sea, a dangerous place. The Arabian Sea looked peaceful, but it was full of hidden dangers. Somali pirates, who many thought were no longer a big threat, had recently become very active again. In just the first 3 months of 2025, there had been 27 attempts by pirates to hijack ships. Most of these attempts failed, but each failure made the pirates bolder and more dangerous. The USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, a floating fortress, was sailing through these waters. This wasn't just any ship. It was 1,092 feet long, weighed over 100,000 tons, and was home to more than 5,000 sailors, pilots, and Marines. Its flight deck was huge, big enough to launch and land up to 90 aircraft, including FA-18 Super Hornets, E-2D Hawkeye early warning planes, and MH-60 Seahawk helicopters. At the heart of the Eisenhower were two nuclear reactors that could power the ship for 20 years without needing more fuel. While most ships needed to worry about getting fuel, the Eisenhower was like a self-sufficient city on the sea, and it never sailed alone. Aircraft carriers like the Ike always traveled with a full strike group, which included guided missile destroyers, cruisers, and sometimes even attack submarines. Together, they formed a strong shield around this powerful warship. Miles away, three pirate boats quietly left a hidden cove on the Somali coast. Their boats were packed with fuel and weapons. Each boat carried 4 to 6 men who were experienced criminals known for terrorizing shipping lanes for years. They thought their target was a helpless cargo vessel, but this mistake would change their lives forever. A fatal mistake. To the pirates, this looked like the perfect chance. They saw no escort ships, no clear defenses, just a big ship waiting to be taken. They believed they were the hunters, about to get rich. They had no idea that their cargo ship was actually one of the most advanced warships ever built, and they were heading straight into the defenses of a USS Navy carrier strike group. Long before the pirates got close, the Eisenhower's advanced defense systems had already spotted them. Inside the ship's control room, radar operators saw small blips moving quickly across their screens. The ship's powerful SPY-1 radar system scanned the entire horizon, tracking the speed and direction of the pirate boats. Thermal sensors detected the heat coming from their engines and the men on board. The pirate boats were not sending out identification signals. They ignored warnings sent over international radio channels and were moving outside normal shipping lanes. For the Navy, all warning signs were flashing red. Other intelligence systems confirmed their suspicions. Radio conversations matched known pirate patterns that the Navy had studied for years. The conclusion was clear and immediate. These boats were a direct threat to the Eisenhower and its crew. Seahawk helicopters launch. A decision was made in seconds. On the flight deck, the order was given to launch 2 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters known as Romeos. These Seahawks are incredibly advanced, designed to be used for many different tasks. They can hunt submarines, track threats on the water surface, and provide precise firepower. Their special design allows them to resist saltwater damage, and their rotors can fold up so they can be stored in the carrier's tight hangars. The Seahawk sensors make it a nightmare for small boats. Its radar can spot fast, low-to-the-water targets like pirate skiffs. Special infrared cameras allow it to track targets even in complete darkness. Electronic systems can pick up enemy communications, providing real-time information. And when it comes to weapons, the Seahawk is powerful. It can carry Hellfire missiles, torpedoes, and heavy machine guns. But often it doesn't even need to fire a shot. Sometimes just its presence is enough to scare away attackers. As the helicopters thundered into the sky and circled the approaching boats, warning messages were broadcast in several languages. The pirates immediately understood their mistake. They realized they hadn't found a cargo ship. They had stumbled upon a USS aircraft carrier defended by armed helicopters. Panic spread among them. Their boat slowed down, engines faltered, and the hunters suddenly felt like the hunted. But desperation can be dangerous. On one boat, a pirate quickly reached for something hidden under a tarp. An RPG launcher glinted in the thermal cameras of the helicopters. At that moment, all defense systems on the Eisenhower went into action. This was no longer just a minor problem, it was an active threat. The VBSS team moves in. The Eisenhower didn't fire any shots. It didn't need to. The Navy had another powerful tool, the VBSS team, which stands for Visit, Board, Search, and Seizure. These weren't special forces flown in from far away. They were highly trained sailors from the carrier's own security division, master-at-arms, gunners, and other skilled personnel who lived on the board. But make no mistake, they were an elite force. Before they were allowed to go on missions, VBSS sailors went through weeks of intense training. This included close-quarters combat, advanced shooting drills, boarding tactics, and learning about the complex international laws of the sea. Their job wasn't just to stop threats, it was also to gather evidence in a way that would be accepted by international law. Deploying in fast, rigid hull inflatable boats, or RHIBs, they sped towards the pirate skiffs at over 40 knots. Armed with M4 carbines, pistols, body armor, radios, plastic handcuffs, and even non-lethal tools, they were ready for any situation. Working together with the Seahawks flying above, the VBSS teams quickly boarded all 3 pirate boats. Within minutes, they had secured every vessel, disarmed the attackers, and protected the scene for intelligence gathering. Not a single shot was fired. It was a perfect display of speed, precision, and complete professionalism. A bigger operation was revealed. Then the story took a surprising turn. As the VBSS team searched the pirate boats, they found much more than just a few weapons. Hidden under tarps and fuel cans were stockpiles of military-grade equipment, multiple RPGs, AK-47s with extra attachments, and large amounts of ammunition. Even more telling were the documents they found. In waterproof bags, sailors discovered maps marked with shipping routes, meeting points, and certain ships highlighted in red. There were notes written in Somali, Arabic, and English. This was evidence of a network much larger than just a few desperate pirates. A satellite phone, still warm from use, provided a huge amount of information. Call logs showed connections to phone numbers that had been flagged in earlier piracy cases, including operations linked to arms smuggling off Yemen. Messages talked about weapons deliveries to specific ports in Puntland and Al Hudaydah, areas known as centers for rebel groups. This was no ordinary hijacking attempt. The pirates were part of a sophisticated international network that connected sea crime, arms trafficking, and support for insurgent groups. The aftermath, a web exposed. The intelligence gathered quickly moved up the chain of command. Analysts confirmed long-held suspicions. Piracy, terrorism, and illegal arms dealing were all connected, forming a single, more dangerous threat. The Navy immediately increased its response. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, began patrolling suspected smuggling routes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Carrier strike groups increased their patrols, focusing on known trafficking paths. International cooperation also grew stronger, with European and allied naval forces sharing information and working together to stop illegal activities. This incident also served as a wake-up call. The time of simple piracy driven by ransoms was over. These networks were organized, well-armed, and connected globally. Maritime security was no longer just about protecting cargo ships, it was about facing complex threats that combined crime, rebel activity, and even support from some governments. The pirates who made the wrong choice didn't just fail in their mission, they accidentally gave the US Navy one of its most important intelligence breakthroughs in years. What started as an attempted hijacking became a discovery of hidden networks that were causing instability across the entire region. For the pirates, it was their worst mistake of their lives. For the Eisenhower's crew, it was proof that their training, technology, and professionalism could turn even the most unexpected threats into